Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're immersing ourselves in a case of, well, profound silence. A double murder in Khartoum, one of the city's most privileged neighborhoods.
Yeah, a place where the killer moved like a phantom, really. Left behind a locked door, maybe 200 potential suspects, and almost no obvious forensic trace.
So our mission today is to understand the meticulous planning involved and also that single, almost casual mistake that finally broke what we're calling the Khartoum silence.
Right, so the year is 2021. The setting, it's this sprawling, secure, four-story residence. And the victims, Dr. Magdy Rashid, 43, a very successful ENT specialist.
And his mother.
And his mother, Amal Mohamed Turk, 75 years old.
And the whole thing started quietly, didn't it? Not with a bang, but with absence.
Exactly. For 3 days, Dr. Magdy just vanished. Missed appointments at his busy practice. Both his and his mother's phones were switched off. Highly unusual for him. That's what finally prompted his cousin to file a report. Most of the immediate family actually lived abroad, so it took a little while for the alarm to be properly raised.
Okay, so the police arrive. And at first glance, the house seems normal, secure.
Eerily normal, yes. Windows locked, doors secure, zero sign of forced entry. You could almost think it was, a false alarm.
But that changed fast.
Oh, instantly.
Yeah.
As soon as that main gate swung open, any idea of normality just evaporated. It wasn't something they saw first.
It was the smell.
It was the smell. That overwhelming, putrid odor of decay. It was so intense, it just pulled the officers straight through the otherwise pristine garden area.
Towards the service room?
Towards that small, unventilated service room attached to the house.
And that's where they found him, Dr. Magdy.
Yes, Dr. Magdy's body, bound hand and foot, forced into a kneeling position. The heat, the humidity, decomposition was very advanced.
And the cause of death, brutal.
Extremely. Severe, repeated blows to the back of the head. The pathologist determined it was inflicted with some kind of sharp instrument.
Okay, so a scene of intense violence there. But then upstairs, the story changes, doesn't it? It becomes about calculation.
Completely. They moved to the mother's apartment. And outside her door, maybe the most chilling detail of the entire scene.
The locked door.
Locked from the outside. And sitting right there, on the floor outside the locked door, was a small plastic bag of fruit and a watermelon. Untouched.
Wow, like a snapshot of the moment someone tried to deliver something and couldn't.
Precisely. And inside, they found Amal, the mother, in her living room. Her body was, well, it was remarkably preserved.
Which was confusing at first.
Very confusing, because the air conditioning in her apartment had been running continuously since she died.
Keeping the room cold.
Exactly. Her death was different too. Suffocation. A likely smothering. It seemed swift, designed purely for silence, not like the rage implied in her son's killing.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Two victims, two very different methods. A door locked from the outside, one body decaying rapidly, the other preserved by AC. Everything points to an inside job, someone familiar. But the physical evidence, the locked doors, it suggests the house was sealed tight. What were the biggest contradictions right at the start?
Well, the main one was access. How did the killer get in? Forensics were clear.
Yeah.
Zero forced entry.
So either someone let them in?
Which seemed highly unlikely.
Right.
Amal, the mother, was known for being incredibly cautious. Strict security routine. She apparently never opened the door for anyone unexpected, not even deliveries.
Hence the fruit left outside.
Hence the fruit. Or, the other option, the killer had a key. Maybe a copy, a half copy they called it.
Which immediately shifts the focus, doesn't it? Away from random attackers towards someone who knew the family, knew the routines.
Absolutely. Someone familiar with the household's inner workings.
And we know robbery was a motive, right? Things were missing.
Yes, confirmed. Cash, gold, both Dr. Magdy's and his mother's mobile phones, all gone.
But there was one specific missing item that really changed the game, suggesting this wasn't just a burglary gone wrong.
The car. Dr. Magdy's brand new car. Current model year, bought just weeks before. And crucially, it wasn't registered yet.
Unregistered. Why was that detail so important for the investigation?
Well, think about it. An unregistered car is incredibly difficult to move, especially across state lines in Sudan. Checkpoints would flag it immediately.
Right. So whoever took it knew how to handle that.
Exactly. It suggests the killer didn't just know the family was wealthy, but knew the specific timing of this high-value, high-risk purchase. That just screams surveillance. Careful planning.
And they knew how to handle the security, too.
Oh, yes. The main gate camera. Smashed. Wires cut. The perpetrator knew the camera's blind spots perfectly. avoided all other surveillance.
Right.
Really sophisticated.
But then the forensic contradiction, this almost threw them off track, didn't it?
It really did. They found no usable fingerprints, which points to gloves. Very careful.
Okay.
But they found multiple distinct shoe prints, different sizes.
Different sizes. So more than one person.
That was the initial theory. A team, a group of killers, which seemed to fit the sophistication but clashed with other elements.
Like the sheer brutality against Dr. Magdy. Let's go back to that medical detail, the time gap.
Right. The ME's report suggested about a 10-minute gap between the first blows to Dr. Magdy's head and the final fatal ones.
What does that tell you?
It suggests a sequence. Killer strikes first to incapacitate him, probably ties him up then starts the robbery upstairs.
Okay.
But during the looting, maybe he hears something, sees something, realizes Dr. Magdy is stirring, regaining consciousness, so he has to go back down.
And finish the job. Violently.
Violently. Repeatedly. It shows someone who might have initially planned for incapacitation or opportunistic theft, but became chillingly calculated and brutal when faced with resistance or the risk of being identified.
So, with the evidence pointing inwards, the investigation cast this huge net. Over 200 people questioned.
Neighbors, staff, family members, anyone connected. And this is where the family dynamics really came under the microscope. It led police down a path towards a very prominent red herring.
Dr. Magdy's sister, Gada.
Yes, there was serious bad blood there, a really deep, long-running dispute over inheritance from their father. The relationship was completely broken.
And it wasn't just emotional, it was legal too, right? This Hajar case.
That's right. Dr. Magdy had recently filed what's known as a Hajar case. For listeners, that's essentially a legal motion in Sudanese law, like a guardianship claim.
Used to declare someone unfit.
Often, yes. To argue someone is maybe mentally unwell or incompetent to manage their affairs or even a danger to others. Dr. Magdy was using it to claim Gada was a danger to their mother.
Which had already led to her being evicted from the family home.
Correct. So you can see the motive there. Intense anger, resentment, potential revenge. It looked very strong.
And the police found proof of this conflict.
They found an audio recording of Gada discussing the dispute. That discovery basically made her the prime suspect almost immediately. She was arrested.
But she was released. Why?
Intense questioning, yes. But ultimately, despite that really strong motive, they couldn't find a single shred of physical evidence linking her to the crime scene. Nothing.
Okay.
She absolutely insisted, despite everything, she'd never harm her mother or her brother. So with no evidence, they had to let her go.
So the police hit a wall, the sister angle dried up. What about the staff?
They looked closely. There was a long-serving cleaning woman, 30 years with the family, though recently she'd been sending her daughter instead because she was ill. And the regular Sudanese watchman who came in twice a day for water and garden work.
Any leads there?
Nothing concrete. No evidence tied any of them directly to the crime. The case just stalled. Completely cold.
Until the digital ghost appeared. The investigation had run out of physical leads, internal conflicts. They needed a break from somewhere else.
And they got it. From one simple, probably careless mistake by the killer.
The stolen phone.
Exactly. 1 week after the murders, one of Dr. Magdy's stolen mobile phones, which had been silent since the crime, it briefly powered on, pinged a cell tower.
And the location wasn't Khartoum.
Not even close. The signal trace led them hundreds of miles away, deep into Aldine State.
Wow. That's a huge distance. Suggests flight? Or maybe passing the phone to an accomplice?
Both possibilities were on the table. Police acted immediately, raided the house where the signal originated.
And they found the phone.
They found the phone. And the people holding it. They were shocked, apparently. But the key thing was, through them, the police identified the actual killer.
Who was it?
An Ethiopian man named Antonio, a former watchman for the family.
A former employee?
Yes. He'd worked for them for about 6 months, but Dr. Magdy had fired him. Apparently for poor conduct and some minor dishonesty, small thefts.
The person with intimate knowledge of the routines, the layout, the security weaknesses, it was the disgruntled former staff member. The puzzle pieces just click.
They click right into place, don't they? Antonio confessed. And his confession revealed everything. After being fired, he didn't just disappear.
He stayed close.
Right there.
Yeah.
Took a job at a cafe on the same street.
No way.
Yes. It allowed him to maintain constant, undetected surveillance on the family. He knew where they kept valuables, cash, gold. And crucially, he was waiting.
Waiting for what?
The right opportunity. That brand new, unregistered car Dr. Magdy bought. That was his signal. That was the trigger to act.
now. So let's walk through his confession. The timeline explains all those contradictions, the locked door, the different shoe prints, the mix of brutality and calculation.
It does. The planning was incredibly meticulous. He said he climbed the garden fence at that known blind spot, then he hid. For 3 hours. Just waited.
3 hours. Patience.
The patience of a predator. Waited for Dr. Magdy to get home. When the doctor arrived, Antonio attacked him from behind, knocked him out, quickly bound him in that service room.
Okay, so initial attack was incapacitation, not immediate murder.
Exactly. Then he took Dr. Magdy's keys from his pocket, went upstairs into Amal's apartment. He was searching for the car keys, the gold, the cash.
And that's when the mother encountered him.
Yes. Amal must have heard the noise, probably thought it was her son coming in. She came out of her apartment, and Antonio reacted instantly. Smothered her, purely to silence her.
Making sure there were no witnesses, no alarms, explains the different cause of death.
Precisely. Swift, silent.
And the 10-minute gap. The return to Dr. Magdy.
While he was looting upstairs, Antonio said he looked out the window. He saw Dr. Magdy downstairs, stirring, struggling against the bindings.
Realized he wasn't fully incapacitated.
Realized the risk. So he rushed back down immediately, struck him again, repeatedly this time, with the weapon, until he was absolutely certain he was dead, then dragged the body back into the service room.
And the multiple shoe prints.
That wasn't a team. That was Antonio. He apparently changed shoes at some point during the crime, probably during the cleanup phase, leaving prints from different pairs.
Okay, that makes sense. And the escape. How did he get away with that unregistered car? That seems like the biggest hurdle.
This part shows incredible calculated thinking, leveraging the local political situation. He spent over an hour looting after both were dead, took the keys, locked everything up carefully behind him, making it look secure.
Locked the mother's door from the outside.
Yes. Then he drove away in the new car. Now, to get past checkpoints without being stopped in an unregistered vehicle,
What did he do?
he placed counterfeit metal plates on the car. Plates labeled TMAZJ.
TMAZUJ, what does that signify?
For those unfamiliar, TMAZJ indicated an affiliation with the Third Revolutionary Front forces. These were armed groups who were signatories to recent peace accords in Sudan.
So essentially he put fake official business plates on the car.
Pretty much. It gave him a kind of tacit immunity. Security at checkpoints would likely wave through a vehicle marked like that, assuming it belonged to those forces. No questions asked about registration.
Allowing him to drive the stolen car clear out of Khartoum undetected.
Flawlessly. The entire plan, from surveillance to execution to escape, was meticulous.
Oh.
Undone only by that one tiny post-crime error.
His cousin turning on the phone in Aldain.
Giving away their location. Just like that.
What really stands out here, listening to the confession and the background, is the shock in the community afterwards. People confirmed the family had treated Antonio well, even gave him money. He's fired, yes, but for these relatively minor thefts, this dishonesty, which the family chose not to report to the police.
And that's the terrible irony, isn't it? The entire tragedy, this horrific double murder, was quite possibly set in motion because a series of smaller offenses were dismissed, met with mercy, perhaps.
Instead of being formally reported.
Right. And because of that, this individual who clearly had dangerous potential was allowed to remain close, maintain surveillance, keep that intimate knowledge of their lives, and ultimately use it against them.
And the final chapter is still unwritten, the legal consequence. Because Dr. Magdy's siblings, the direct family, live abroad, the trial is awaiting their input, essentially.
Yes. Sudanese law, in cases like this, gives the victim's family a significant choice. It puts the burden, in many ways, on them.
What are the options?
They can choose a pardon, or they can accept blood money, which is called fidya. That's a negotiated compensation paid by the killer's side to the victim's family. Or they can demand qisas, retribution, which in this context usually means execution. The law basically forces the family to decide between forgiveness, compensation, or the ultimate accountability.
It leaves us with a really profound question to think about, doesn't it? About that initial act of mercy or dismissal of the earlier dishonesty. When that mercy allows someone to remain positioned to commit far greater violence, where does the balance of responsibility really lie? It's something the family and the court have to grapple with now. A chilling end to a case built on calculation and betrayal.